So, I've had a lovely day off. I went out, I went shopping, I got some errands done, and I was like, this is a wonderful day. I think I should end it by watching a 30-year-old man play an sad boy teenager in a movie for 2 hours. Yes, I am finally watching the Dear Evan Hansen movie. It's been out for like a month or so, I don't really know. I haven't really been keeping up with it, but I have been keeping up with all the drama around the movie because that's been super fun. Seeing Ben Platt and all of his self-righteousness and all of his denying of the nepotism involved in this movie. And also just the fact that people really want to just die on the hill of defending the plot of this movie. Like, I've seen the musical, I've seen like leg boots, slime tutorials of the musical, and I don't love the plot. I feel like people really want to work their way around justifying the plot and how being like, oh, well, Evan wasn't supposed to be a good person, and he doesn't need to be like punished for his actions to prove that his actions were bad, but like, I think that he did. I don't think he realized that what he did was wrong, and I hate Evan Hansen. Dear Evan Hansen, you're an awful person, and here's why. I hate the plot. I hate everything around it. I hate the concept of it. I hate the way it tells a story. I think the plot of Dear Evan Hansen, the musical, and I am also assuming this movie, horrible. The score, though, ooh, the score is so good. I sing Good For You at almost every audition because the score is so good. I love the music in this musical so much. Plot, the book of it, trash. Absolutely horrible. The score, though, absolutely amazing. That being said, I have heard that they've cut out a lot of major songs from the musical, such as Good For You, where everybody's like, hey, Evan, you are the worst. So let's see if Evan actually like learns any sort of lesson in the movie, even though he really did it in the musical, in my opinion. But I just want to give a little bit of a background of like my mind going into this, that I already have preconceived notions and biases, and I'm not going into this like giving it a fair shot. I really like don't want to like this movie, and I don't think that I will. But I'm pretty sure the director just did an interview about this where he was like, go into it hating it, you're just gonna love it. And I'm very much excited to prove him wrong. So let's watch the movie. I knew Universal movies weren't the best, and they were really digging at the bottom of the barrel to like get them hits. But really, the Dear Evan Hansen movie?
Dear Evan Hansen.
You suck and I hate you. His hands are so old.
Today is going to
His
be
makeup is also
amazing
caked on.
I've learned to slam on the brake.
Oh yeah, they changed the opening number to Waving Through a Window versus Does Anybody Have a Map? Because Anybody Have a Map, I'm just gonna talk over him because I literally don't care. Anybody Have a Map was such a good opening number, and it like literally shows other characters in the story and introduces everybody perfectly and shows how like, you know, the families are also affected by Evan's action. But obviously this movie is all about Ben Platt and about Evan Hansen because nepotism, so. Also, he looks so, my god, he looks so old. Like, if a man like this walked into a high school, they'd be like, what is this grown man doing here? He's either a predator or a cop. Or both.
On the outside, always looking, will I never be more than I've always been? 'Cause I'm tapping on the glass.
Why the cuts between him and the mirror? Man was playing a college-age student like 10 years ago, and they were like, yes, this man can play a high schooler.
You have an appointment this afternoon.
You see,
I'm working
he
till
could be a
6,
very
so
sympathetic
you're gonna have to
character
take
if
the
he
bus.
didn't exploit some child's death to fuck his
I thought
sister.
we could go around and ask all the other kids to sign your cast.
So, in my mind and heart, fuck Evan Hansen.
What happened to
Hope
your
he
shirt?
breaks his other arm and both his legs.
It's brand new.
I'm so mad. We start with stars in our
He looks so old.
We start believing that we belong.
Man does not look anywhere near his teens. It's so oof.
And no one tells you where
You went wrong. This hair, I heard there was something about his hair. I don't know if it's fake or if they just styled it weird, but there's something up with his hair and I don't like it. Wave it! Oh!
Do you ever really crash or even make a
No, because all the extras in this scene look teenaged.
Do you ever really crash?
That man has a 5 o'clock shadow, but that's not without the realm of possibility. He looks so much older than everybody else. Like, if you're gonna do Grease and pack that school with extras that are his age, because nobody there looks as old as he does. I don't love this editing as well. Why does he do his weird singing faces while he's acting? Sir, you've been in movies. You were in Pitch Perfect. Just like act and don't do those singing faces. Because you're not singing live in the shot. It's truly the audacity of Ben Platt to be like, I originated the role, so only I can play Evan in the movie. Like, so wrong on so many levels. Oh, we'll see how they demonize the one black female in this show.
Also, I hooked up with this Brazilian dude who is literally a supermodel.
We love that.
Yeah, I hope that answers your question.
We love queer characters. And he doesn't get to sing good for you, and you're like, fuck you, Evan. Oh, the homophobia. And the racism. I hate this movie already.
We're family, friends, Evan. That's an entirely different thing. Let's respect that.
Go off. Fuck Evan and his feelings and his little bitch ass. I hope everybody makes fun of Evan throughout this movie. Maybe then I'll enjoy it. He just sort of, he looks 30 as well. Connor looks about the same age.
No.
Stop laughing!
What is with his face?
That's your...
It looks so, like, smooth, but, like, also, like, Play-Doh.
I'm Zoe.
And I know his normal face doesn't lock like that.
I think, sorry.
No! Why is he Naruto running down the hall? Why does he run like that? Oh, that's so embarrassing. Oh, not to romanticize, like,
Would it be?
or stereotype mental illness, but, like, Connor doesn't look, like, depressed.
Because there's Zoe.
He just sort of looks like a
Even
guy.
know, and who doesn't know me, but
And I get that, like, anybody can have mental illness, anybody can have
if I
depression.
did, if I could just talk to her, maybe
But, like,
things would be better.
I don't know, we've barely seen him, but, like, the ones in the musical where he was just sort of, like, he looked
I wish everything was
like a sad boy.
I wish I was part of
And
something.
I was very preferential of
Thing
that
I said
aesthetic, honestly, in my opinion.
mattered to anyone.
Oh, you're still talking, hold on.
Doesn't know
I
me.
guess I have to listen. Poor
If I did,
Zoe.
if I could just talk to her, maybe things would be better.
She's not your manic pixie dream girl, she's just a kid. Leave her alone.
And it never will.
That man is so ripped. Aren't you like 17, bro? What do you have a six-pack for?
I was climbing a tree and I fell.
You fell out of a tree? That's the saddest thing I've ever heard.
Connor looks his age.
I know.
But I feel like they're trying to make Ben look younger, and Connor just sort of looks like a guy.
I'll sign it.
Oh.
You really don't have to.
Do you have a Sharpie?
Connor was my favorite character.
Shoot. Nice.
Get that Sharpie sponsor. I will pause because I do want to give Connor's actor the respect he deserves. I don't care about Ben Platt. Connor was such an interesting and good character that you only meet and really sort of understand and see outside of like the few talking moments in Does Anybody Have a Map? Because you see his dynamic with his family and the fact that like Connor's already sort of like demonized by the rest of his family. His family like truly does not care about him. Like they say they do after he dies, but like does not matter if he's already dead, blah 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 blah. And Connor's just such a good and sympathetic character, and then the fucking show is about Evan. Who I literally hate and don't care about at all. Those are sick rings, bro. See, I feel bad for Connor, I feel bad for Zoe, I feel bad for Jared's his name. I do not feel bad for Evan in this
Pretend
case.
we're friends. Because there's Zoe.
I would also flip
My
out.
sister.
That was the weakest shove I've ever seen. No, see, what Connor does here,
Please don't show it to anyone.
in my mind, is
Connor.
100% very reasonable. What Evan does throughout this entire show is not reasonable at all. I have no sympathy for Evan in any of his actions. I think he's a horrible person and he should have gone to prison for what he did. Connor, I have so much sympathy and love for Connor. Like, this is a very reasonable reaction to what you did to him, Evan. But it's all like, oh no, he has anxiety. Oh, that's so sad. Bruh, everybody has anxiety. Shut the fuck up. Not to, like, make fun of people with mental illness as somebody with mental illness. And somebody who's friends with many people who have mental illness. Especially, like, fucking crazy anxiety like this. I literally don't care about Evan, and I have no sympathy for him or his struggles. Because having anxiety does not make you a shitty person.
Hi.
Evan is a shitty person, though. The fact that if you told me that this stepfather and Evan were the same age, I'd be like, okay, See, now we know nothing about Connor
Hi.
except for the perception of other people. We don't see any sort of glimpse of him prior to all of his outbursts that are, are meant to demonize him as a person.
As fast as I can.
Well, that's not what I said.
I'm going to speak a little bit more before the plot progresses. Because if you don't get to know Connor and you don't see... You don't really get to know him in the musical, but if you don't even, sort of see him from his own perspective and you only see him through the eyes of Evan and Evan's story, then you have no real reason to, feel bad for what Evan does. Because when you see, Connor from other people's perspectives, the moment in Does Anybody Have a Map? You see that he's just sort of like a guy. And he doesn't want to go to school, and he's just sort of, struggling through it. But what you see from all of, Evan's interactions are him being mean and combative, and everybody just sort of, already demonizing him, even his own sister. So you don't really have a moment to, connect with Connor and understand that, Connor's a person, and that what Evan did to him was really shitty, except for that one moment where he signs on Connor's cast and is now we can both pretend that we are friends, but that's it. Point is, I think that they are once again just using Connor as a prop, and I think that that's fucked. This movie could have done better and could have done more than the musical, but because of nepotism, of course they did not.
These are the words that he wanted to share with you.
This is where you explain.
His last words.
This is...
How do we feel about the theory
I'm
that
sorry, Connor didn't-
that letter made Connor
write this.
break?
Connor
That was his
didn't- Connor
breaking
didn't
point.
write this. His mom was just... I've never seen anyone so sad before.
Well, yeah, that was her son. Not the selfie in front of his memorial locker, bro. And then you don't because you're a shitty fucking person. Not to keep pausing the movie and complaining more about how much I hate it. But Evan's such a shitty person. And I literally hate him so much. And literally nothing will ever justify what he did. And I've heard people be like, yeah, people can make mistakes and grow and move on. I'm a big fan of gatekeeping. I love, in the trifecta of gaslight, gatekeep, girl boss, I am the gatekeep. I 100% believe that we should gatekeep everything. Some people just don't deserve the privileges other people have. And I believe our dear Evan Hansen does not deserve the privilege of growth. I think he should be shamed for his actions for the rest of time. Because what he put this family through is horrendous. And I don't think Evan should be able to ever move on from that. I think he should live and die with the guilt and shame of what he did. That's just me, though. But also, I think it's very important that the whole thing, in my mind, the whole point of the story is to talk about how, nobody actually knew Connor. The whole story is, in theory, should be about Connor and how everybody's just making up lies in the ways that they, talk about him and the ways that they perceived him, but nobody actually, knew Connor. So then when this guy comes in and, lies about it, and, in theory, everybody is lying about him because nobody actually, knows for certain, because nobody, took the time to, connect with Connor, that was, we're singling out Evan in this moment to be yes, what you all are doing is a bad thing. But I don't think that point ever gets made. I am only 20 minutes into the movie, so maybe they do make that point, but I don't think that they will. Because if they did, they wouldn't have cut Does Anybody Have a Map? Because in that moment, you see that even though his parents, after Connor dies, likes to front they love and they care about him, but in the moments in which Connor was truly struggling and obviously, going through it, did his parents show an ounce of empathy? No. Did they care? No. They just cared about how Connor's actions were impacting their life and how he was an inconvenience for them. I could go on for years about Connor Murphy and how much I love him and how much I want the story to be more about him and about his struggles, not about bitchy ass, whiny ass dear Evan Hansen who I could easily knock the fuck out. But I digress, let's keep going. And then he gets with Zoe. You're disgusting and I hope you rot.
Yeah, no, I know.
He set up different accounts, ones we couldn't find. He knew you read his emails.
Well, somebody had to be the bad guy.
And he...
See how they just gloss over that? No.
Yeah, it's-
I will interject. I will continue to interject and fight for the legacy of Connor Murphy because I love that kid. And he deserves so much better. It's the fact that they just offhandedly say that. The fact that he had no privacy and the fact that they just continuously, overstepped his boundaries. So much so that Connor had to, assumedly, we don't know because nobody actually knows Connor, live this covert life away from them. Because he knew that, his public accounts were not safe because his family were so intrusive. You know the number one reason people take their life? is to regain a sense of control. You know who's taking that control away? His parents. I'm just saying. Fuck all of them. Anyways, next.
Weird. I'm not having this conversation in front of
They
my kids.
casted
No, tell us
the
the
mom
good
and
things.
Zoe so perfectly
What
because they
were the
look
good
very
things?
related.
Family day at Sunny Glen?
Zoe.
That being said, what I just said about all of the Connor and how I'm basically a Connor Murphy apologist, I feel like Zoe's feelings are 100% valid. And like, while I do believe that Connor deserved a lot better and a lot more people to understand him and how I would like to speak at length about the injustices that Connor Murphy faced, is Zoe 100% right to like not care about the fact that he died because Connor was a shitty person to her? 100%. 100%. You know what that is? Nuance.
Of course.
He has
Of
such a
course they were good
whiny
kids.
way of talking. I want to punch him in the face.
Something.
Yeah.
He has such a punchable face, my god. Also, not to make everything gay, but like, I get that Connor didn't have any friends, and like, seeing this guy, you would first assume that, oh my god, they were just like such cool buddies. But like, also, you see a very covert relationship that Evan clearly does not want to speak about, seems very uncomfortable talking about. But it's clear in your mind that they were very, very close. He took him to the secret apple orchard, just the two of them. They were dating. That's the conclusion that I would draw, is that, oh, they were a couple. But because of heteronormativity, no, nobody comes to that logical conclusion.
Picture perfect afternoon.
Imagine this kid you just invite over to learn more.
Ice cream place that we found.
Shut up, I'm trying to speak. Imagine you invite this kid over to learn more about your dead son because you never took the time to get to know him in life. And he just starts singing. I would lose it.
Telling jokes
No one understands
except
except
us two.
This sounds
And we
like a relationship.
talk and all
We see is sky for forever. I love this song.
let
The world.
two friends on a perfect day.
He used the words friends and buddy, but too heavily this song.
I completely forgot
For
about
not
that
being
place.
Like girls we wish would notice us, but never do.
That's his
He looks
sister.
around and says that
You're a horrible
there's
person.
nowhere else I'd rather be.
I fucking love this song. This song is nowhere to be so good for how fucking horrible it is in the context of the show.
Forever this way.
His face looks so doughy. I don't know what's up with it.
'Cause the sun shines
What
bright.
narratively does this shot do, Mr. Director? Why are we just watching Glenn Platt sit in a seat and sing? This tells no story. Do a fucking, like, a dream sequence. Let's see them in the field.
There he goes.
I don't want to seem like a bitch and wish him death, but like, if only that tree would have taken him out. Ugh, thank you. Fucking dream sequence.
Okay.
I didn't want to see those 30 seconds of him just sitting in the chair, though. That was very boring. But also just like two no homo bros chilling in the middle of an orchard, just chatting and talking. Seems very gay. I don't know what to tell you. Obviously, men can just have platonic relationships, blah, blah, blah. But like, after they tried to like capitalize off the like success of the musical and write that like Connor Murphy book and basically confirm the fact that Connor was bi, like get the fuck out of here. Like, I hate retroactive representation because that shit's fucking bullshit. But also like, if Connor is supposed to be bi, then this should be very clearly like assumed to be a relationship. We should interpret this as like them dating. But no, they have to sing a whole song about how the only man I love is my dad, even though Connor hated his dad and Evan also does not know or like his dad. And this man just told a whole lie to this grieving family because he's a horrible fucking person.
You think you were lovers, you realize that, right?
Oh my god. I thought you were gonna tell him the truth.
I'm glad Jared and I are on the
tried,
same
but then
page.
I got
Bottom line, take it or leave it.
I love this song.
$20. Fine, but I'm not gonna act like I'm happy about it.
I fucking love Jared. He deserves the world. Dear Evan Hansen,
Are we done?
baby.
I mean, I can't just show him one email.
Why did he
I'm gonna
hit
show
the
that I was,
wall?
like,
Who
a good friend,
choreographed that
that I
scene?
was-
Not a dance sequence. This is actually really cute. But it's only because of Connor. I love Connor. My sister's hot. What the hell?
My bad.
Oh. I'm thoroughly charmed by Connor Murphy. I love that. I love Jared. I love Jared. No,
can't
we're gonna
remember the
pause because I
last
want to
time
talk
that I-
about that scene. That scene was so cute. I feel like the editing in this movie, I don't love it. I don't love it. I like what they did towards the second half of the song, just like the second half of For Forever, where you're seeing the action take place. I don't like seeing them sit in the room writing the emails. I understand that they're sitting in the room and writing the emails. I understand that. I'm not an idiot. Like, in those moments in which they're interjecting, in the scene in which we're seeing all of this take place, just have Jared pop into the scene. Stop cutting to them sitting in a room for like half a second. It's bad, and it looks bad, and it's bad narrative, and it messes up the flow, and it's stupid. That being said, I was very charmed by that sequence. It was very cute. I just love Connor Murphy. I love Connor Murphy, even though that isn't really Connor Murphy, because again, nobody knows who he is, because nobody took the chance to get to know him before he died, because people suck, I guess. I don't know what the moral of this movie is. Moving on.
I'm looking at them right now.
We love an absent father.
I'm sure they mean well.
I'm sure they don't.
They don't. Her mom has a lot of toxic positivity.
She needs
And
time.
No,
I-
Larry, she needs her parents. Enjoy the game.
well, so did Connor, and then he killed himself, so get that Beats product placement. Is that a BTS? Is that BTS in the background? No. Don't ever fucking tease me with possible BTS ever again.
How about the time he tried to punch through my door screaming at the top of his lungs saying he was gonna kill me for no reason? Is that email in there?
We're all grieving in our own way.
Babes. Let's not gloss over the trauma that Connor imputed into her life. Zoe deserves better. My god. Both of the Murphy siblings deserve better. Holy shit. See, I would love to talk about this more. About how, yes, we can talk about at length, me personally, about how Connor deserves better. And about how, like, all the things that were done to him and the way that he was treated, the way that, like, people talked about him after his death is really fucked up, but also about the fact that, like, none of that takes away from the fact that Zoe was, like, truly hurt in many different ways by the things that Connor did, and just because he was, like, a sad boy, that does not excuse his actions. See, we were so close to that point. We could have had that be the point. That, like, Connor, bad guy, but deserved better and deserved help. Zoe, rightfully angry about Connor and what he did to her. But her anger does not mean that Connor did not deserve better. But instead, this movie is about Ben Platt. Requiem? I always skip Requiem. I don't like this song.
We gave you the world, you threw it away. I can sing no requiem.
Wait, hold on. Maybe it's because I always skip the song. When did their parents have a verse of this? I thought this was Zoe solo. Also, the audacity of his father. The audacity of his father to be like, we gave you everything, and you want to spit in our face by killing yourself. What you didn't give him was emotional love and support. Maybe think about that, Mr. Murphy. Like, I get why Zoe's mad. I fully understand why Zoe's mad. Because she has the right to be, because Connor traumatized her and abused her. Like, she should not have to sing a requiem for him. She should not have to be sad that he is dead. He tormented her. In no way should she have to feel bad just because that was her brother. His father, though? That was a kid. You're a grown man. Yeah, you should be sad that your stepson is dead. Hot take. That was great. Ugh. Maybe it's because I don't find the story very compelling, but the storytelling in this movie, horrible. Absolutely horrible. The way that the scenes are shot and the way that they're edited together, there is no... You do not get lost in the story. There is nothing to draw you into these characters because the editing is just so weird, the pacing is off, and, like, the scenes are shot just, like, so clinically. Like, there's no, like, angles to show emotion. It's all just, like, straight on. I hate it. I hate the way that this movie has been made. That being said, Zoe, beautiful voice, absolutely iconic, but also, like, her acting, very great, very proud of her. I think everybody in this movie did great except for Ben Platt.
So the memorial is really just an opportunity for all of us to come together as a community and remember Connor.
I didn't really know him. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Bye.
Yeah, nobody knew him. Remember what? Nobody knew him. You all had horrible opinions of him. And were mean to him, actively, in life.
Just text me.
I completely forget what her character's name is, and we have not given her a name. They have not mentioned her name once.
Mom.
Is she at work again? They like to paint this as, like, neglect, but it's very clear that, like, this is out of necessity. And, like, even Evan himself tries to paint this as being like, boo-woo, my mom doesn't love me. She spends too much time working so that I can have food to eat. Like, shut the fuck up. I will literally wring your neck.
It's not true.
I hate what this song stands for, but it is my favorite song.
Like what things?
I love this song so fucking much, but what it stands for, horrible.
I don't know, it's like a half smile, like you just heard the funniest thing in the world, but it's a secret and you can't tell anyone about it. But then, the way that you smile, it's sort of like you're letting us in on the secret, too.
This is such a weird thing to say.
He said,
There's nothing like your smile. It's sort of subtle and perfect and real. Fucking love this song, y'all. I fucking love this song, as I've said many times. But, like, the context of the song is that he's basically been, like, stalking her and collecting all this weird-ass information about her because he's obsessed with her. And is now using this lie that he has about her brother's death to, like, get close to her. So fucked.
he thought it looked pretty cool when you put indigo streaks in your hair.
No fucking way.
You think that cutting out that one line is gonna make this song less weird? I love that part because it really drives home the fact that this song is fucking weird. He thought you looked really pretty. You looked really cool when you put indigo streaks. That part, iconic, because it cements the fact that he is making all of this up because of his weird, like, romanticized version of Zoe that he has in his head. And I think trying to cut that out, not only does that not make the song less weird, because the song will infinitely, just as it stands, be the weirdest fucking thing ever. It's horrible what he's doing. But also, it acknowledges the fact that the people who made this movie realize that what Evan is doing is so fucking creepy and weird that they had to try and tone it down, but still continued to keep this song in and make this movie. So double whammy, absolutely not. Anyways, keep going. I love this fucking song. That's so fucking creepy though, that you're literally not only a wallflower, but you're like obsessed with her. That you're just watching her everywhere. That's so fucking creepy. Zoe deserves better. I hope Zoe gets to punch him in this movie. Just square in the face. Or maybe hit him with a car? That'd be fun. That's so fucking creepy, bro. I need you to understand that. What you're doing is so fucking creepy. Just watching this girl and just being in love with her. Very creepy, sir. I need you to understand that. And they thought cutting out that pretty cool line would make this less weird. You're literally filming him stalk this girl. Okay, hold on. We need to pause. Because it's already horrible enough that he's lying about all of this. And about knowing Connor at all. But even if he did and was 100% truthful and he was such good bros with that dude, Connor Murphy, the fact that he would still use the fact that he was friends with him to get with his sister post-mortem is so fucked. There's no way to make this okay in any way. I hate Evan Hansen. I want to hit him with a car. Don't kiss. I don't want to see that. Don't. Literally don't.
Hello?
And the Murphy family is in many ways replacing the hole that was left by Connor with Evan. And are we ever going to acknowledge how weird that is? To basically, like, lose your son and then just sort of find a replacement son? Alana, that's her name. Completely forgot her name.
The Connor Project.
Is this their PSA to be like, anybody can have mental illness?
Depression, anxiety.
That's it?
Yeah.
Bro, that's low stakes mental illness.
Yeah,
Talk to me when you get some BPD up in there. Isn't everybody
Some days
depressed?
It's just like,
Doesn't everybody have anxiety
it's like,
though?
Impossible.
Doesn't everybody want to
yeah.
die every second that they are conscious in life? Is this like a new thing?
You know, you don't really act like it. depressed sort of person.
Oh my god, this is their
Just-
PSA. This is how they actually make the plot about mental illness awareness.
There are a lot of people who feel like us.
Oh my god.
People that you wouldn't think. You ever look at all the people who seem to know exactly how to be
Oh my god, new song?
anonymous anymore?
No. Okay, pause. First of all, already upset that they wrote a new number instead of just having one of the already good numbers put into the show. Because as I've said, I fucking love the score. I fucking love Can anybody find a map? Does anybody have a map? Love that song. Don't know the title, but I love that song. Good for you, so fucking good. I cannot stress enough that I sing that song at every single audition that I can because that song is so good. And they cut it for this? For the anybody can have mental illness PSA? Bitch, everybody has mental illness. I don't know a single person without mental illness. This isn't news. Nobody's watching this being like, oh my god. Yes, I have mental illness and I'm finally not alone. Literally everybody on TikTok talks about how depressed they are. Everybody. It's not a secret. It's not a thing that people feel ashamed about anymore. Maybe in the 80s. Maybe back then. Maybe for Gen X. Maybe for even old millennials. But for us, for Gen Z, no. Literally nobody cares. Literally nobody cares. And, again, bad storytelling. It doesn't make any sense for them to do this whole PSA about being like, well, anybody can have mental illness. You don't know it. It could be the person sitting next to you. When, like, it's not like they were subverting anything to begin with. Because it's not like Connor, like I said. Connor just looks like a dude. He doesn't look like the stereotypical person that you would just, like, typecast as having mental illness. So it's not like everybody was like, oh, well, of course, that guy has mental illness. But also anybody else could have mental illness. Because the only person you really see struggling with mental illness throughout the show is, of course, Evan Hansen. He's just a white man. He is the most average white man you've ever seen. That already defies all of the sort of stereotypes about who has mental illness if this just like generic white man can have it. I don't know. I don't think that they're actually saying anything with this. I don't think that they've ever really said anything with this story though. I feel like Dear Evan Hansen was sort of like triumphed as being like, oh my god, a story about like struggling with mental illness, but like it's literally not about that at all. And they literally have nothing to say about the struggles of mental illness. Also, what is the point of being like everybody should be open about their struggles and insecurities when like there is active bullying in your school? The first introduction we really get to Connor is him being bullied and called a school shooter in the middle of the hallway. Like, why would anybody be open about their struggles when that is what they have to face at this school? Make it make sense, Alana. Make it make sense. But, like, this is so clearly made by boomers. Like, literally nobody in Gen Z is secret about their struggles with mental illness. Literally nobody. So, whatever they think that they're doing with this, they are actually doing nothing. Because it's a non-issue. That being said, I do like this telling two different stories of sort of like the same event, you know, from like Alana and Evan's perspective of the pep rally. I think that's fun.
We just wanted to do something.
It's really cool.
Is it? None of y'all knew him. Literally none of y'all knew him. None of the student body knew him. What is his memory if none of y'all have anything to remember of him?
I wasn't. I'm not speaking.
Why not?
Well, I just don't think.
How hard is it to say I'm not good in front of crowds? They make me uncomfortable. I'd rather not. How hard is that to say?
It sounds like most people don't know you very well.
No, I think they know well enough that he's
Didn't know
the
Connor
fucking
either.
weirdo who likes to stalk Zoe around school. It's so obvious that like the Murphy household is very much and replace any sort of emotional connection with money. Like they think if they just buy him nice things and give him all of like the material goods that he wants, like that should be enough, and it's clearly obviously not. But like if they have all this money, why didn't they just like let Connor transfer schools? It's obvious that he's not having a good time, and that like
So glad you changed your mind.
and that like his past mistakes have continued to like affect the way that he interacts with his peers going forward, and like not saying that like they shouldn't be upset with him for whatever he's done, but like if he wants to be able to grow and move on, he needs to get away from those people who will constantly hold that over his head. Just a quick and easy suggestion, if you have all this money, send him to a private school. Send him somewhere else. Send him to a place without people who are going to call him a school shooter in the middle of the hallway. Just a thought.
Smiled that way he always did. And then...
Once again, smiled the way he always did. Sir. I would also laugh at him. You're embarrassing yourself, bro. Finish the speech or get off the stage. He looks so pained. He kind of looks like the cats in the movie. Cats 2019. Kind of looks like the cats in that movie. His face. You have to pick up the microphone, sir. Someone get him off the stage. Truly, sometime in this awkward silence, the principal should have come on stage and been like, "Thank you, Connor," or "Thank you, Evan, that's enough." But they just let him flounder.
But see, the thing is, when I looked up, Connor was there.
Talk into the mic.
That's the gift he gave me.
No one can hear you in the back.
To show me that I wasn't alone. Nobody is. That's the gift that he gave all of us.
I hate when they turn suicides into martyrs. Like, O'Connor died so that we could all blah blah blah. Like, no. He killed himself for his own personal reasons and has nothing to do with any of y'all.
Feel strong enough.
I don't understand what happened.
You did.
You did.
None of us are alone.
Right.
Especially now.
But, like, Connor was literally alone and that's why he killed himself.
Thank you, Evan Hansen, for giving us a space to remember Connor.
Thanks to Evan.
Thanks for helping Thank you, Evan Hansen.
Vermont.
Tampa.
Sacramento. Michigan. Just reach out.
Is this worse than all the celebrities singing, look at all you know when the dark goes gray. The score just goes so fucking hard, I'm sorry. You never talked to Joe about he was fucking crazy. And he was, like, violent. Which is something we need to, like, discuss and talk about. That he was, like, not 100% a safe person to be around. I fucking hate those. Not only are they romanticizing this man in his memory, oh, the dad's finally crying. I literally don't give a fuck, you're a horrible father.
What's wrong?
I could not stress enough that I hate this man. What he did. But it's the fact that all these people are like, you're not alone. But Connor was literally alone. He was so isolated, not only because he isolated himself, obviously, but because the people around him, even his own family, truly did not care about him. And you don't see that because they cut. Does anybody have a map? And he was alone, and that's why he killed himself. It's so easy to say, nobody's alone. When that's a lie. But also, like, we don't talk about enough the fact that not only did Evan lie to the Murphy family, to everybody he knows, but to tens of millions of people. Why does he not get his comeuppance? Why did we not cancel him on Twitter? I think it's kind of fucked. Why did Zoe not hit him with her car? I'm only halfway through. My god, I'm so tired. Why is it? No, don't buffer. You're so sexy. I guess it's my time to talk then. As somebody who went to school when somebody died at that school, like during that time, and we had to like make a whole thing about it, it's weird and not like this at all. Maybe it's because he did not die of suicide, but it was just very weird in the way that they also did this thing where they kept doing things like in his memory, and it didn't make any fucking sense. Like, at the end of the year-ish, we would always have this big sort of like field day thing where instead of classes, you just like go to workshops and like do events and have fun. And they said that year that he died that instead of doing that, that they would just have like a workshop, more like a learning centered day where like you also still don't have classes, but like all of like the workshops and events would be centered around like learning about like social justice and the world around us and blah 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 blah, and like in his honor, which didn't make any sense because it 100% assumes that like you know this or that you knew him and like what his wishes were. Like, what if that field day was something that he loved and something that he like was really looking forward to, and like getting rid of that in order to like teach us whatever the fuck you were trying to teach us was actually completely going against what he would have wished. You don't know because you just sort of have this made up idea of this person in your head and are just sort of using him to like serve your own means, which is super fucked. But yeah, this whole thing is super fucked. That's so sad. Not the single K. Fuck. You're getting ghosted by your own dad, bro. Ooh, it's a big L.
How the two of you climbed a tree together?
How
At an
easy
orchard?
would it be to just lie, keep the same lie to your mother,
You told me that
lie
you
to
didn't know him,
everybody
but
across the
in his
board?
speech You said that he was your best friend.
But it's so obvious. Like, it doesn't make any sense for somebody to hide, like, a homie. Like, if you're just friends, there's no reason to hide this relationship. But obviously, apparently me and Jared are the only logical people here who would automatically think, oh, the reason you're hiding it is because y'all were in a relationship. But nobody seems to jump to that logical conclusion. It's shots like this, where she's perfectly centered in frame, that just feels so weird,
Circles,
and I
right?
hate it.
I like you.
I'm so sorry, girl.
You.
That's so unfortunate. I'm so
I don't
sorry.
need you to sell me
You
on
got reasons to
what
want you. Fucking love this song. This is my favorite song. I take back everything. This is my favorite.
I don't need you to.
It can be
But
us.
Evan, on top of being like a liar and a horrible person, is also fucking stupid. Because he has to realize that the version of him in her head is not real because all he's been telling her are lies.
It's not so impossible.
Zoe is great. She's just fallen for wonderful woman, awful man syndrome. Yeah, Jared needs to expose him because he literally is the worst. Not only did he put together this, hold on, look at them.
Alright, let's.
And the fact that they're the only, like, named characters of color in this, that's also super fucked, bro. But the fact that literally the second that he's able to get what he wants out of this, which is a relationship with Zoe, he literally does not give a shit about Connor. Horrible person. Horrible person. At least you can pretend to care. Like all the other people in the student body pretend to care about this kid you didn't know. I do not blame Zoe in the slightest in this because Zoe didn't know. But I hate Evan. And if I could, I would kill him. I forget about this every time. That not only does he get with her, but he like completely like abandons Alana and Jared as this is happening. Also, when this all eventually, of course, will have to come to light that Evan's a big fat liar, it's going to look horrible on Alana. It's going to look so bad on her because she's the one who's orchestrated and organized everything. Her name is the one on everything. Does Evan care? No, because he's a horrible fucking person. In what way are we supposed to root for this when we know that Evan's a horrible fucking liar? Zoe deserves better. I hope she hits him with her car.
Why did I think you were at Jared's?
I don't know.
Because you told her! You liar! He's not even a good liar. That's what pisses me off. I think that's what pisses me off the most about this. Is that he's not even a good liar. As a compulsive liar myself, I'm a good liar. If you are going to commit to a lie, especially a lie as big as this, that gets to millions of people, you need to make sure that at the very least your mom is straight on the lie. You either bring her into the lie, or you tell her the same lie you tell everybody else. You don't tell her this weird conflicting lie about everything. You gotta keep your story so very straight. It would be one thing if he was like a liar and like manipulating everybody, but he's not. He's like stumbling his way through this, and it's horrible to watch. Because at least if he was like a manipulator and like a good liar, this would be like entertaining to see, like, ooh, will he get away with it? But he's obviously not going to because he's fucking stupid and doesn't know how to perform to save his goddamn life. I hate Evan Hansen.
Sorry, I can't give you anything more than that.
It's not my fault if other people can.
See? And what a horrible fucking thing to say. He deserves to get hit by a car for this. I'm not sorry. Evan's a horrible person. Because, like, it would be one thing if, like, oh, yeah, this is just sort of like a lie that got too far out of control, and, like, who's to blame him for just, you know, reaping the rewards of it? But for him to, like, actively say that to his mother. Hit him with a car. Hate that man. Hate that man.
He wouldn't have written his note to me.
Oh my god, see? It'd be so easy in this time of when Alana was, because she's very smart, to be like, ask him forthright and be like, are you lying to me? And for him to double down on this lie. Be like, no, I'm not lying to you. Here's his note. I just hate him because I don't know how you can in any way sympathize with or apologize for Evan. Dear Evan Hansen apologist, I don't understand you. Not only that, I don't respect you because it's one thing to be like, oh no, he made a mistake, but like, he's actively being malicious in this moment. And this is when everything just sort of starts to turn from him being just like, oh no, I don't know what to do. I just have social anxiety. I don't know how to tell people that things aren't true when they're not true. And then going for him actively pushing this lie forward when it is only hurting more people. You get it, I hate him.
He wasn't right. You know that, don't you?
But literally he was, because like, you want to be like, oh, nobody's alone, but like literally the second that Evan got what he wanted, all the people that he was manipulating, like Jared and Alana, just sort of get left in the dust. Alone. It's almost as if Evan proves the antithesis to his point, but I digress. I hate that man. Blow it up in his face, Alana. Do it.
Hearts we can't tell, we carry them well, but that doesn't mean they're not heavy.
Not a fucking
Hearts we can't
reprise.
tell, we carry them well, but that
It's not even a good song.
hearts we can't tell.
We cut Good For You for this? Now this was fucked up of her to do, but I don't like how we linger on this, like what she's doing is somehow anywhere even comparable or worse to anything that Evan's done.
Have to be.
Because once again, this is not a real note. I think she in every way did the right thing. Oh, poor Zoe. Your boyfriend did that to you. Betrayed your trust in such a horrible way.
They have pictures of us now.
Just put it away.
His parents act like they are bereft, but where were they when their son was actually alive?
Please.
Where were they though? Oh, hit him with a car, please. Zoe, hit him with a car. Damn it. Punch him in the face. Kill him. Look at what you've done to this family. And the only thing he had to do was just show her the picture on his phone. He did not need to send it to her.
The first time that Connor tried to kill himself, he's just looking for attention. He just wants attention.
I'm not gonna sit here and defend myself.
You couldn't understand him. You never understood him because he wasn't yours. Mom, we failed him.
You did.
No, you didn't. No,
But they did.
You didn't fail him.
No, they did.
I wrote it.
You didn't write Connor's suicide note.
Ooh. You see, I would never give up on a lie this far into it.
What are you saying?
That he's a big fat liar. You should kick him out of your home.
We weren't friends.
No.
I never meant to make it such a mess.
I hate the song.
Words fail.
I don't like the song, actually.
Words fail.
I don't like the way that they're performing it right now.
There's nothing I
Why is he always centered in the shot? Is it just to drive home the point that the story is all about him when it really shouldn't be?
Explanation, I know.
Kick him out of your home!
Right there in front of you.
I hate this. Kill him!
And you want to believe it's true.
I don't like this weird crying singing he's doing. Kick him out! Why are they not angry? They need to be angry with him. I would kill him. But also, I would never, one, get myself into a lie that I could not control, but also then back out of the lie. Because the just drama that really did not involve him just got too much. You need to triple down on that lie at that point.
She doesn't want to ruin your life. She's afraid you'll do something stupid. Like hurt yourself.
Doesn't that suck?
She said they already lost one son.
That's so horrible and disgusting that they have to care about this monster. That despite every horrible thing he's done to their family, they can't in turn ruin his life. I think that's fucking horrible. And I think that's not fair. And we never get that catharsis that we do with the musical with Good For You, where everybody who is watching and rightfully hating Evan Hansen is like, yeah, you suck. We don't get that in this movie. Because this movie sucks. You gonna fall off another tree?
This was just a sad invention.
He looks like he's dying.
Cause then I don't have to look at it, and no one gets to look
No.
at it. Oh, no one can
I hate this.
release before I leave with the worst of me. I never let them see.
He kinda looks like that guy from the Lorax. But like in a bad way. Not the one slur, the other one. The Ryan Ross character.
Step into
to the sun.
You can't, and you shouldn't be able to. I don't believe he should be able to ever move on from this. I think that the Murphys are honestly, once again, as we've seen, way too fucking kind, and his life should be ruined forever. I believe he should not be able to walk into a grocery store without people being able to spit and leer at him. I don't think he deserves to have a good life after this.
Do you hate me now? You should. You should. If you knew who I am, just how broken I am.
You think that we would hate you for trying to kill yourself more than what you did to the Murphy family? He still doesn't understand what he's done. Oh my god, someone hit him with a bus. Regina George got a better treatment for her actions than him. My god.
Someday, all of this is gonna feel like a very long time ago.
But it shouldn't. He should be reminded of this every waking moment.
And the house felt so big.
See, in this moment, we should be seeing a flashback.
I felt so
We shouldn't just be watching two alternating shots of them sitting on a couch and singing. Because that's not interesting unless it's a musical and it's live. In this medium, we should be watching a flashback of this happening with this song narrating over it. But no, this movie's horrible. In every single way, it fucked up. See, once again, me being the gatekeep, he should be gatekept from love. I feel like the whole point of this is that, like, you can make mistakes, but there are people in your life that still love you, I guess might be the moral. I have no idea what the fuck the show's about. But he doesn't deserve this. He's a horrible person and should be treated as such, and I don't expect his mother to, like, abandon him, but she would be 100% right to do so, especially after the way that he treated her and treated her in relation to this new family that he's also sort of fucked over. I just don't think Evan deserves anything good in his life after what he's done.
It's gonna get better, I promise.
But, like, where was this for Connor? Connor, who actually did kill himself. He doesn't get that? No. No, he doesn't, of course not.
Connor's family doesn't deserve your hatred. I do.
Yes, you do.
I'm sorry.
And that will make none of this any better. Do it. Did he do this in the musical? I completely forget. I don't think he did. I think he just sort of kept that a secret to himself. Either way, I'm glad that he did this. Doesn't make him any less shitty of a person. Someone should beat him up. Somebody should get up and beat his ass for what he did. I guess it's supposed to be like it's supposed to show that, like, oh, he's actually trying to, like, get to know him and find out who he really was after all of his lies. But, like, it's truly too little too late. You've ruined so many lives. It doesn't matter at this point. We get no catharsis as Evan Hansen haters. Literally none. We don't get good for you. We don't get to see him get hit by a car. We get nothing.
I think we got it. It feels a little closer.
Who's singing? Is this Connor? Because it doesn't sound like a song from the musical. Why is there a non-musical song in this musical movie? Y'all are just putting this random flash drive into your computer like it couldn't possibly have. There's no note. There's no explanation. This could very easily be a virus. You are all idiots. It was Connor singing. That's sweet. But, like, what does it matter? He is dead and you have tarnished his entire memory for millions of people. You can't unburn the house, bro. Like, I don't know what to tell you. Saying you're sorry doesn't bring people back or undo the harm you've done. Like,
I wish we could have met now. Today.
why?
For the first time.
Why? He's a horrible person. You know that. Are you wishing you could have had something? He's a horrible person.
No matter what else, today at least, you're you. That's enough.
Yes, but how do you like yourself after what you've done? How do you live with yourself?
Even if it feels
After ruining that family.
impossible.
I'm begging you to end this movie. Do not fucking put his words in your mouth, you bitch. I will kill you. Are we done? Boo! Boo, you fucking suck. I've been filming. for 2 hours and 45 minutes. Almost 3 hours of my life is gone because of that horrible fucking movie. If you got to this far in the video, you understand the reasons why I hate it in depth. But let's just go over what happened in this movie. Evan Hansen, wrought with anxiety, tries to go to school, make some friends, live his life. A kid named Connor, who he did not know, gets all mixed up in Evan's self-loathing. And maybe because of that, maybe not, kills himself. Evan capitalizes on this kid's suicide to not only get a surrogate family, to get the emotional attachment that he was not able to reach out and receive from his own loving mother, money, food, other great things, attention, a girlfriend from the sister of that dead boy, and millions of people across the internet giving him love, attention, and clout. And then the worst thing that he gets out of this is having to spend a year off from school and going to a community college instead, which is still somehow framed as worse. That's it. Those are the only repercussions for his actions. Right? Yes. I hate this movie. I hate it so much. Do I think every single part of it was horrendous? No, of course not. I feel like there were great performances from the actress who played Zoe. I like the dynamic between all the people in the Murphy family. But the story itself was horrible. They did not have a good piece of media to work with, though, because the musical itself, the story in that is also horrible. But also the way that it looks is bad. They film it like it's a pro shot, like it's a musical, because so many scenes when the characters are singing, it's just them singing, which it's horrible storytelling, especially since a lot of the songs are like telling stories of other things that are happening, or the things that have happened, like For Forever, or the song that Evan's mom sings, and it's literally just like fully centered shots of their faces, which is not only bad cinematography but bad storytelling. We gain nothing just seeing them sing there, because then when you're being told a story and not visually seeing it as you should in the medium of filmmaking, you get violently pulled out of it and you're just focused on the fact that you are watching somebody sing about something that you're not actually seeing, which is horrible. This movie is awful. That being said, what the fuck is the moral of this movie? What is the point of this story? Because they like to boast with the musical version that it's all about like suicide prevention or whatever, like mental health awareness, blah 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 blah. Because it's like, this guy has anxiety and that's hard, and this kid killed himself and that's hard, and we shouldn't be scared to talk about mental illness. But like, that's not relevant in modern day society, especially in the context in which they show it in this movie. Like, I talked about it a little bit before, Gen Z does not have an issue talking about mental illness. There is no stigma within our generation. And you're trying to put this whole song that Alana sings about how, like, oh, everybody's dealing with all these, like, invisible demons, we just need to, like, talk about them and show that we're not alone. Literally nobody thinks that. Literally nobody thinks that they are alone in having a mental illness. People might think that they're alone, that nobody cares, because that might be true. It was true for Connor. But, like, saying that they are not alone because they have people in their life that love and support them is very different than saying they are not alone because other people also struggle with this same issue. They're very two different things, and they're trying to conflate them, and it doesn't work. But back to what I said about Connor having nobody in his life that loves him. It's very obvious that he didn't. Like, you can make the argument that, like, oh, look, the Murphys obviously clearly care about him, they loved him, blah, 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 but, like, they didn't. They didn't, at least when it counted, and that's, like, what matters. Like, you can say, oh, I fed my dog, but if they died of starvation, you did not feed them when it mattered. So, like, who cares if, like, in theory it's true? I just really hate this. I hate this movie, especially since they made it more about Evan for some reason when so obviously all of the interesting characters are everybody except for Evan. Evan is the least interesting character in all this. Like, Jared, Alana, Evan's mom, the Murphy family, all of them are so fucking interesting in, like, the way that they relate to Evan and to this story, but it's still somehow all about Evan and how he learns to, like, overcome his anxiety and actually get to know Connor and learn that, like, life is worth living. Give me a fucking break. No, I literally don't care about you. Like, sorry, also, one more thing. I just watched a TikTok that completely opened my mind to the thing that I have been, I think, sort of kind of semi-mentioning it, but keeping in my mind, and I don't think I ever really fully articulated. Why do we care if Evan gets a happy ending? Because we see him at the end be like, oh, life is okay, and I've learned to, accept who I am as a person and love myself, blah, 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 blah. Why should we care? Why? Give me a reason why we should care. Because Evan has shown himself throughout this movie to be a horrible fucking person. At no point am I shown a side of him that makes me want to like or care about him. I hate him from top to bottom, from start to finish. I hate this man. So there's no reason for me to be happy or grateful, or at any point or in any way enjoy the fact that he, like, is good at the end of the movie or at the end of, like, the story. Because I fucking hate him. The movie does a horrible job at making you like Evan. How am I supposed to like him when he's done such horrible, monstrous things and gets, like, no sort of, like, remorse? Like, he says that he's sorry, but he also spends that whole fucking song explaining why he did it and why he, like, deserved to do it. Like, he's like, oh, my life was just so sad and I wanted a family. And I'm like, I literally don't give a fuck. Like, go get hit by a bus. I hate that man. And the movie, and the story in general, the musical and the movie do such a horrible job at making you like him or even inducing sympathy out of you, at least in my opinion. I'm sure there's other people that sympathize with him, but I literally cannot. That the ending doesn't make any sense. The only way that the ending makes sense is if the point of the movie was for you at some point to sympathize with or in some ways like Evan, so that you were happy with the ending. They don't do that, though. I hate him throughout the entire show because he's a horrible person and is shown doing horrible things. Therefore, you have to therefore come to the conclusion that the point of the musical and the view of the people making the show are that his actions are in some way justified and that it's okay that he did these things, and that's why you're able to sympathize with or in some way be on his side, so that at the ending when he has this happy ending, you are happy along with him. But as I mentioned before, that is so totally fucked because he's a horrible person and what he did was horrible and should not have been forgiven. Also, oh my god, real quick, completely fucking forgot that in the musical, Connor acts as, like, Evan's conscience. So we see a bunch of Connor, like, calling Evan out when he's lying. Completely fucking forgot about that. We don't get enough Connor Murphy in this movie, honestly. They cut Good For You, which doesn't make any sense. And then they cut Does Anybody Have a Map, which doesn't make any sense because it shows that, like, other characters are also in the story and affected by Evan's actions. I'm more so mad that nobody was mad at him. Like, nobody was angry with him. People were, like, embarrassed of him or whatever. Like, there's that scene in the lunchroom where people are, like glaring at him, but that's it. Nobody beats his ass. Not even the Murphy family. They were just so overwhelmingly kind to him. For no fucking reason, Evan did not deserve that. I just don't even know how to put into words how much I hate this movie because there's so many things horrible and wrong with it that I don't even know where to start when I'm trying to describe how much I hate it. But Evan Hansen specifically, played by Ben Platt, and all of the entitlement that went around it it's just the cherry on top. It's like this movie could not have been worse in my mind. Like, I don't know how you parse a good moral out of this. Like, I don't know how you watch that and walk away feeling, like, loved or inspired. I'm just full of rage. Anyways, I'm so tired, and I'm not going to say anything more of substance or coherence. So I'm just gonna end it here. If you watched this movie, I'm so sorry. But let me know what you thought of it. Did you also hate it? Give me more reasons to hate it. Honestly, I would love to see that. I once again did prove the director wrong, as I thought I would. This movie's horrible. Yes, of course, there were moments that I did not hate, but the overall experience of watching this movie was so unpleasant. I would rather do literally anything else. But if you are somebody who for some reason really likes this movie, or really likes the story of Dear Evan Hansen, or really likes Evan Hansen himself, you can keep that to yourself. Usually I'm like, let me know why. I don't care. No, I don't think there's anything on earth that will convince me to give even an ounce of sympathy to that bitch. I hate him. I hate Evan Hansen so much. I know he's not real. I know he's not real. But I just think that the story is horrible, and the way that they told it was bad, and that there's no good way to frame Evan as a character, so the fact that he doesn't get any sort of comeuppance makes me so furious. Like, literally not a single person punched him. We don't even get good for you. I hate it. I hate it. So if you liked it, and for some reason stuck the whole way up through this video, good for you, I guess.